export the files from any 3D application and how to import it in Mudbox. Very first of all, what I will be doing is I'll open Maya file, open that file from that location. Now I have a file of this particular mesh in Maya. What I have to do is, very first of all, I can merge it using the combine option. Then I'll export this file. I can export it in two formats. One is OBJ, that is object export, and the second format for which I'll export is that will be the FBX format, that is Filmbox. I can export it in OBJ format, just export it, save it in any location as like I save it, fish, export, and then I'll click on export selection. So as soon as I export that file, I'll get one file called fishexport.obj. Now what I'll do is I'll open Mudbox. Now I have got that file. I can just go to the file menu, click import. Which file? The file which I have exported from 3D application. Just import that file. As soon as I import that file, I'll get this kind of a mesh. Now I can work out with it. I'll take another file. I have already saved one Mudbox file. I'll open that Mudbox file. Already opened one file. Now what I can do is, this is my basic mesh of Maya. I have imported it in Mudbox. Very first of all, what I can do is, for example, I have got tools like sculpt, paint, pose, select and move. For example, if I want to work on the sculpt mode is like sculpting the models in the various forms. If I want some deformations, if I want to make something upside down, I can do it using this all sculpt tools. For example, as soon as I take a mesh, I get into this layer panel. Right now I am into the sculpt mode. You will get this layer panel, you get the object list, the list of objects which you will see in the scene, and the viewport filters. Very first of all, what I'll do is I'll just come to the sculpt mode. Just use the brush option. Come over here, you get the sculpt properties, the size of the brush, just the round shape which you see on the screen, that is called brush. You can increase the size of brush, you can decrease the size of brush. The strength works like how much area you want you to affect that part, strength. And the mirror is like, when you do mirror, what will happen is it will affect both the parts, both the sides. I can say a symmetry part. When you do working on this model, the area which I'll sculpt will affect both the parts because I have mirrored it. Very first of all, the shortcut key to work with it is D. As soon as I use D, the brush, I can increase or decrease the diameter of the brush. Strength. The strength is like, you can use the M option to increase or decrease the strength. By using the strength option, I say the area which I want to work, it will be affected more. For example, if I use the sculpt tool, and very first of all, I'll show you how to lock the objects or how to freeze the things. For example, if I paint something over here, if I start painting over here, and if I use this sculpt tool over here, I won't get any deformed part. But if I use this sculpt part over here, I can see some deformations over here. Just this is because the part which I have painted in blue is totally freezed up. So you can press Ctrl and you can remove this freeze part and you can work accordingly. You can remove the freeze part as I unfreeze it. Now if I use the sculpt tool over here, it will affect that particular part. Just go to the display. If I want a gradient background, I can just on it. You can just on it, just click on the gradient background, you will get a gradient background. If I go to the display, if I unclick it, it will remove the gradient background. If I need it, I can on it. If I want the full screen, I can just come to the display option, I can just full screen it. The shortcut key is Control T. And if I want the expert mode, I can use T option, the shortcut key, or else you can move on to the display and expert mode. Second thing is show both sides. Show both sides works like, for example, if I see black something from inside on the background, or else if I see some background from inside the mesh, what I can do is I can just go into the display, I can use show both sides, accordingly I can work on it. So these are the two things. What you do is, for example, if I want to import any file, I can just go into the file, import that file in a any option, any object format is like OBJ format or FBX format. OBJ is the object format and FBX is the film box format. If I want into the wireframe mode, I can use W, that is the toggle button. If I want to on and off the wireframes, I can use this. Now secondly, if I want this mode to see in a very rough mode, I can use it smooth shade. If I on the smooth shade, it will be in smooth mode. If I use the off it, I can see my mesh in a very hard surface. So I can see the hard surface, hard faces which I see on the screen. Just make it to smooth shade. If I want to off the grid, I can off the grid. This is the way how I can import the mesh and this Mudbox application, and I can work accordingly with it. And the next session we will be working with all these sculpting tools. Thank you.